Good morning. Welcome to all of you. Gee, I've been doing lots of hugs, and I'm all like plugged in and energized and feel wonderful. And the smiles that are coming back, I think it's such a beautiful day. We all obviously are feeling that as well, this incredible energy that we bring individually and collectively as we gather together. And so as we start this time, if you'll just take a deep breath, and I need to do that. And as you know, one of the first things we do is to light the Christ candle and recognize that consciousness, that place of being that surrounds us. The conscious place, the Christ, the great teacher, the great messenger has brought to this and to us. And so we just be with that for a moment. Just be with being surrounded by this energy, by that consciousness, by that love, by that purity. And feel that as you welcome this day, as you welcome this service, as you welcome our wonderful guest and speaker, who I'll speak of a little bit later. I'll keep you in a bit of suspense. So I thank you for being here, and I would like everyone just to, for a moment, notice the light that comes here and lights in us, through us, and around us. And as part of what we do, we also repeat the statement of truth. So if you'll look to the, what do we call these? The screens, the monitors, and repeat with me. There is only one presence, one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good, the omnipotent. Our vision here at the Unity of Blairsville is that we are centered in God. We co-create a community and world that works for us all. So one thing in alignment with as we move forward is to have an opening prayer and talk about this thing called the prayer box. And so one of the prayer practitioners and a friend and another great hugger, see, that was another prompt for me to get another hug. Daniel?
The prayer box here in front of us, Unity's a prayer-based congregation, and the prayers that are put into this box, we pray here for 30 days, and then they're sent to Silent Unity, and they're prayed there for another 30 days, where they've been praying over these prayers for 100 years. And just so happens that the daily word for today is about prayer, and I'd like to say something about my experience with prayer and my journey into prayer and my awareness of how powerful it is, and my becoming a prayer minister. And there was about 9 years ago, I was working in Amelia Island, and there's a man who started talking to me about prayer, about praying. And he was a very religious man, which I was not really open to, all that religious stuff. But I did hear what he said about praying, and he was helping me get into the community there, into the corporate community, and he asked me, he says, make sure that you pray before you go in. And I did, and he often talked about prayer before, to pray ceasingly. And it was really the first time in my life that I opened up to prayer throughout the day. So it was really powerful when I got to read this morning. It says, my every breath is a prayer. The Apostle Paul exhorts a small congregation in Theonia to rejoice always, pray constantly. But what does that mean for me? I could certainly choose to spend an entire day making a conscious effort to stop all activity in prayer. But my human experience would come to a standstill. I'm not here in human form to avoid the world, but to transform it. I pray without ceasing. When I begin the day, I align my mortal mind with the divine mind, that my source, as a result, is my source. As a result, I know that I will always be divinely guided through every challenging, every choice that the day will invariably bring. I will be the presence and the power of God in expression, and in my every breath I will pray. Rejoice always and pray without ceasing. Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God and Christ for you.
Thank you. Okay. You know, Bates is not here today, but what we have is a man whom, what do I say about John Stringer? Well, I say his name, John Stringer. It's his wife, Kathy. I know that this, a relationship with everyone, and that we surround ourselves with love. But truly, and I'll put that but there, I have a deep, abiding love for this man, his wife, precious little Johnny, wherever he is, and their family. I first met John Stringer at the Spiritual Living Center in Atlanta. I think it's been years ago now. Gee whiz, I don't know. I don't count anymore. I mean, when you're 40, you just stop there, right? And I was so touched and moved by his music, by his presence. When he just walked up, I felt him. And I have been a groupie. I asked Kathy, I said, send me something about his bio and all of that, and she did. And all of those things are wonderful, and they differentiate him on this planet as a human being who has this gift. And we'll talk a little bit maybe later about what that is. But the gift is John. The gift is his music. The gift is the word of his music. The gift is who he is as he delivers it. And I can tell you that you're in for a treat. And just relax. And just enjoy and allow to happen. And John and I are going to kind of do this thing today. He knows what he's doing. I'm learning moment by moment, right? So I want to give you John Stringer, and he can speak for himself. Thank you, John.
So glad to be here. We're going to start right off with a song you're probably familiar with, at least I hope. If not, this will be an introduction to Ricky Byers-Beck with Release and Let Go. So it goes a little something like this. I'll start, and then we'll sing the lyrics that come up there. There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say if you're discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go. Let it all go.
and this is what you have to say. I release, I let go, I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yeah, I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, yeah. Great job.
Now, if you would, I believe this is the time in your service where we get to meet and greet each other with hugs. Is that correct?
And it is.
Excellent.
And I'm hardly ready. I started. And if you're comfortable with hugging, hug. You just kind of want to soak in, whatever that is. But let's, in some way, come together. Handshake, hugs, just speak.
You know, this is wonderful. I'm going to go, yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo. I mean, this energy and this love and this hugs and, whew, ooh, how wonderful, how wonderful. Ooh. All right. As you've already seen, the service is a little different today, and will continue to be so, and I love it. And this was, I'm just kind of taking this in. You all are so beautiful. This is just wonderful. I hated to get up here, and I didn't hate to get up here, but I didn't really want to get up here and say no more hugs, so I tried not to say no more hugs, right? So, John is not only a singer, John also is a spiritual leader. John is a presence here that you'll see as we go forward. He that brings that light everywhere he goes. So he's also going to deliver the message today. And I had the opportunity just recently, to hear him one more time. Actually, I went to a concert last week down in Atlanta that it was in. So this is a little different format. I think it's great. A little change always helps. Like the outfit today.
Yeah.
This is the white pants for summer, changing into the fall colors. Okay? A little transition going on here. Change is good.
That's all right.
So I want to turn it back over to John, and let's just be in this. It's wonderful, and thank you for bringing your energy, and thank you for who you are, and John Stringer.
Thank you, Barb. So you mentioned the perfect words to segue into this next song, Change. Today we're going to talk about change a little bit, talk about resistance to change, otherwise known often as attachment. But resistance shows up a lot of different ways. This song's about letting it go. There's a feeling we all want. Sometimes it seems impossible, but it's truly what you came here for. Let me show you how to feel it more. A feeling once you learn to navigate, accepting all you contemplate. Let go, my friend, and don't resist. Trust into this and feel the bliss. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not hard when you choose differently. What you want ain't always what you think, so be here now. Accept it all and just allow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything's exactly how it should be. Sufferings, resisting what you don't wanna feel. Accept it all and be healed. Whatever comes up in your soul, recognize it all and just let go. Release the labels, let it flow. Allow and know what you know. If your feelings, thoughts, and stimuli are all a part of the divine, then all is well and always is. Trust into this and feel the bliss. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not hard when you choose differently. What you want ain't always what you think, so be here now. Accept it all and just allow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything's exactly how it should be. Sufferings, resisting what you don't wanna feel. Accept it all and be healed. Be before you were born. You chose this night to remember you were love and light. Understand that it's all here for you, a plan to help you know the truth. The divine uses everything to show you its love. Are you remembering? If there's one thing you can trust, you can always count on love. Whoa, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. La da 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 da, la da 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 da. Ooh, ooh. There's a feeling we all want. Sometimes it seems impossible, but it's truly what you came here for. Let me show you how to feel it more. Yeah, yeah. It's not hard when you choose differently. What you want ain't always what you think, so be here now. Accept it all and just allow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything's exactly how it should be. Suffering's resisting what you don't want to feel. Accept it all and be healed, yeah, yeah. It's not hard when you choose differently. What you want ain't always what you think, so be here now. Accept it all and just allow, yeah. Everything's exactly how it should be. Suffering's resisting what you don't want to feel. Accept it all and be healed. So if you get comfortable, please, whatever you'd like to do to get comfortable, we're going to go into a meditation. If you'd like to take some things off of your lap or close your eyes, we're going to take a breath together. And as we relax and get as comfortable as we can, we're simply going to open our hearts and align with that force, that power, that energy that heals, corrects, and removes all blocks. The source of our life, that which we are extensions of, we're simply going to acknowledge and relax into that love that's always here for us. As you breathe and relax, I'd love you to simply say a line in your mind. You're engaging your will and invoking alignment with Source just by simply saying a line in your mind. Your awareness is expanding, that you might see the cause of some of the miscreations and skewed perspectives that have us believing we are somehow separate from goodness and wholeness. So in this moment, if you are in agreement, simply align in your mind. And as you open your heart to the love that you are, listen to these words as if they are your own, as a meditation. I wanna say You gently open my eyes. No matter what I do, your love is always coming through. When I look in any situation, and I say yes, and I say yes, I say yes to your love. Oh yes, oh yes, and I say yes, and I say yes. Father, Mother, I say yes to your love. Oh yes, oh yes, you have created me fearlessly and wonderfully to be your instrument. Use me, I surrender in this moment. Let me be your eyes, let me be your hands, let me be your voice. I'll give you everything I can, and I say yes. A spirit, I say yes. Surrender, I say yes. I'll give up everything that keeps me from knowing you and knowing the truth. Oh, I say yes. A spirit, I say yes. I lift my hands up to you. Let my body be a vessel. Let my soul be a temple. Yes, yes. Take my hands, do what you will. Take my voice, do what you will. And take my do what you will. And let your love flow through me. Take my hands, do what you will, and take my voice, do what you will, and take my do what you will, and let your love flow through me. I know you know the plans to prosper me, to give me hope in the future, and I say yes, I surrender. I say yes, 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 and I say yes. If you're ready to surrender, sing that with me, please. I say yes, 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 to love you, sir. Yes, yes, let's just be with the frequencies, the vibrations, and the silence. As you open your eyes, if you would repeat or read with me the Lord's Prayer, we'll do this together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Excellent. So, grateful to be here. Grateful to be back in Blairsville. Were we here for the eclipse? Yeah, we were here for the eclipse not too long ago and loved it. Got to see the full thing. We were in, what do they call it? The totality. Yeah, totality. So that was really nice. But we stayed with some wonderful friends here. And it was one of those moments where watching it was being present. And as I saw it come, I was listening to the excitement around me and everything, and just staying aligned and wondering to myself, why do I not feel quite as amplified excitement as those around me seem to feel? That's what I thought to myself. But I was just being with it and enjoying it. It was cool. And afterwards, it's like, wow, that was like a once in a 100-year or however long type of thing. And I was kind of like, didn't know why I didn't get even more excited. And I've been noticing a trend as the practice of alignment in shedding personality continues. There seems to be this, excuse me, distance or detachment that is talked about that begins to subtly come in. And that detachment it's not that you don't enjoy life, it's that you start recognizing where the excitement comes from. You begin to recognize that the actual source of the excitement, the actual source of whatever you're choosing in that moment, that it's actually coming from in here. So in that presence, the external things that you watch and observe don't necessarily dictate what you feel. You start to notice, that's different. I'm not reacting the way I normally would react. Now, the practice continues, and eventually what happens is our awareness begins to expand more and more, and we stop identifying with the isolated, individuated point of awareness, meaning the you call you, the you I call me, right? That I, often referred to as the little I, that I begins to dissolve, almost as if there's this little program you created of personality and conditioning, and other people assisted and added their little bits and pieces to it. You have this idea of who you are, right? And it includes body awareness, it includes history and your name and all this. It's this little program sitting here. And usually what we have the ability to do and don't recognize is, usually we're operating from that program like this. We're in it, and it is consuming us. And we're operating, I am Barbara, I am John, right? That's how we're operating. But then, as we begin to practice using our spiritual practices, whether it's yoga, whether it's meditation, walks on the beach, in nature, whatever it is, we begin to get this presence. And that presence begins to assist us in expanding our awareness so that we are no longer engulfed in this personality program. And it begins to kind of become something we can observe. And we're like, oh, wait a minute. And suddenly we're in the consciousness itself that we are. And we're able to see this construct that we've created, this personality that says, I am separate from all I see. I am separate from the essence of all I see. And I am confined to a body where my personality and consciousness is limited to this domain, and that it can't expand out and even be here and here and here and here and everywhere at the same time. So our spiritual practices begin to assist us in expanding that awareness, seeing these constructs or these blocks, these limitations we've accepted. And these limitations, as we begin to release them, we begin to accept all that is, all that we are, at the essence level, not at the appearance level. See, if I were to come in here and say, okay, I'm going to accept myself as you, and I look at you and I look at the bodies and I look at the distance between us and all of that, can I really convince my logical mind to believe that I am you with all this distance and space in it and the way I feel inside this body? Does that make any sense at all? You can't make sense out of it because it doesn't make sense. When you look at the physical bodies and you look at the world of form, there is separation by design. Your eyes are not here to show you oneness. The physical eyes, they are not created or designed to show you oneness. Now, bringing this through so it is clear and pure, we are the creators of the body and the body's eyes. We are. We are the creators of the form. All that is temporal, we create. From the constructs of mind and ideas and beliefs that are temporal and change from time to time, to the physical form all around us that change from time to time. We just forgot who we were. We forgot we are the divine, imbued with the power to create all that is. Now, here's the tricky part. When we created this program of personality and decided to step into it, we willfully forgot we were the creator of the program. Willfully, we decided to forget that we might have this separate experience, an enjoyable one that was meant to be enjoyed with bliss. So there was no resistance and no belief in identity as the body and as the form and separate. That wasn't part of the intended gift of being an extension of source, but we get to create whatever we want. Therefore, the laws of the universe support our creation. The beautiful thing is, though, we couldn't really be separate from what we really are. It's impossible. We've just created a virtual reality that's very convincing, as you know, very convincing. I mean, in this moment, even though I am aligned, the dissolving of the illusion and belief in illusion is a process that I'm going through, just as you are. Dissolving that, and you get peaks. There are times where you see the oneness, you feel the oneness, you know the oneness, and then you're back. You're like, oh yeah. And you feel this spaciousness, but through the practices, that awareness continues to expand, and we continue to let go of the beliefs and the limitations that keep us feeling trapped and separate and suffering. For what we're really seeking is that union, that oneness, that love, the divine love, that which we are. We're seeking to reunite with what we truly, truly are. So every spiritual practice assists us in going back to our true nature, what we truly are. So let's talk about the things that prevent us. What prevents us from experiencing the alignment with the source of who we are in this virtual dimension, so we might navigate it in a way that is full of knowing, bliss, peace, and mastery, where we can choose at any moment to manifest whatever it is we wish to experience? What is it that keeps us from that? Any ideas? Speak now. Fear, yes. Ego, yes. Anyone else? So those answers were correct. I'm not sure if there are any incorrect answers, possibly, but typically it is our own creation. Our own creation is what ultimately keeps us from navigating this world of form and illusion, or this virtual reality, masterfully, in a way that's without suffering. Now, we do navigate it masterfully all the time. We just have willfully forgotten our mastery, and thus we don't recognize that our beliefs are what's causing the suffering. Our miscreated beliefs and identity of form and separation. They're the cause of the fear. So we've forgotten. That's, oh, wait a minute. It's not that I am separate from my bliss or divinity, for I am bliss and divinity. It's that I have forgotten and substituted this parody, this art, this illusion, this image, shadow of who I truly am, for the divine oneness that I am. So how do I wake up to who I truly am and begin to not only reclaim my divinity, but masterfully, consciously create the moments I'm living in a way that brings bliss, in a way that brings peace, not only to my experience in this individuated point of awareness, but to whom all I come in contact with, to share that, to uplift the collective consciousness, which I am. How do I do that? Well, the simple part of it is letting go of the things that create the resistance, the attachment. Now that sounds, we start off with a song, I release and I let go. That sounds great. Okay, I release, I let go. Sign me up. Done, right here, now. Wait a minute. Still kind of believing I'm in this body. What's going on here? I release. Let's try again. I let go. If it was that easy, I think a lot of us would be there, right? We wouldn't have any suffering whatsoever. It'd be gone. Why is it a little more challenging than just, okay, I release, I surrender, I say yes, yes, yes? Why is it a little more challenging? Because a lot of that forgetting we did, a lot of us are still expanding to see the things we're holding on to. One of the examples I got to give recently on a Wednesday night in Atlanta, I thought was really funny. It was during a channeling session. I'm sitting on this chair, and so led to get up and demonstrate. And so the scenario was, there's a fire going on. We've created this fire. And we're feeling the heat of it. We're feeling the heat, and our desire is to break free, to get out, and to escape the fire of suffering. And yet, we love this chair. And so, we're like, okay, I'm going to leave. And we're holding on to the chair. I gotta go. Oh, what's going on here? We're still holding on, and subconsciously, often we forgot we're still holding on to these things we love that are actually not only temporal, but limiting us. But it's not just things we love. It's conclusions we've drawn about life. Conclusions we've drawn about the traumas we may have experienced as a child and decided something about ourself. This little program we've created. Conclusions about what someone told us when we were young and it hit us and we closed up a little bit and withdrew. Conclusions about what we deserve in life, who we are. Conclusions about, quote, others we see. All these subconscious ways we are not only holding on to things that no longer serve us when we're ready to get out of the building. It no longer serves me to hold on to this chair that's bolted to the floor. These subconscious beliefs, skewed perspectives about life, that I am any more deserving than you are of love, of abundance, of forgiveness and peace, that I am in any way more deserving of grace, of longevity and strength and health than you are, that I am in any way, or that you are in any way more deserving than any one of the one. These beliefs that get us caught up, fooling us, deceiving us, and limiting us. So these are the things we want to release and let go so we can get out of the burning building that we've created. Because in essence, these are the things that are creating the fire. Our beliefs in evil. Our beliefs in right and wrong. These fundamental primary beliefs that have been created, reinforced, conditioned through the experiences we've created collectively. And I'm not talking about just this, what we perceive as time-based moment here. I'm talking about the entirety of it that exists now. We have been given the power to awaken. We have come in this dimension, many of us, to answer a call that says, I am ready to align, allow, and let go. I'm ready to raise my individuated point of awareness and expand it, that I might understand, remember, and see not only all that I am holding on to, so I might release it, but see the mastery I have in even creating that. For I created it all. I created these limited beliefs. I created the idea and the concept of good and evil. Therefore, I can uncreate it and choose to align with the reality of who I am. I created this idea of unworthiness. I created this idea of death, sickness, unwell, dis-ease. I created these concepts, these ideas. Therefore, through alignment, I have the power to let go of all these things that are causing the suffering. And it's through practice, finding practices that work for me, that I am able to let go. ultimately bringing me to alignment from moment to moment, alignment with the truth of who I am from moment to moment. Now, I created this whole time-based thing too, so moment to moment is really staying within the eternal moment, here and now, the infinite moment where it all exists, and then masterfully choosing what to navigate from a level of vibration first, frequency and vibration, the first level of creation, choosing my frequency through whatever practice that will assist me, that I might invoke through my will, through my very intention, whatever it is I wish to experience in this moment. If it be peace, then I invoke peace through my will. I align, allow, let go of all that is not in accord and harmony with that peace, and I simply invoke peace. For my desire is that of source, but the limited beliefs and conditioning will tell me otherwise, that I am somehow separate, and will judge the very intent and desire that I have and project it out into physicality, the fourth level of creation. However, that is not what the desire is for. It is for the first level of vibration and frequency. We just get it confused. We think because I've got this desire to feel better, it means I've got to go create some sort of external situation in the level of manifestation in the world of physicality. Oh, you know what? If I just had a new car, that would make me feel so much better, right? And it lasts about that long. If you've ever had a new car, you know it lasts for a little bit, but it only amplifies what is internal. The external only amplifies what is internal. Whatever we're choosing, subconsciously or consciously, the external amplifies it. That's why life is always bringing you these scenarios, and you're wondering, why is this happening again? Because you are subconsciously choosing something that it's reflecting. Life only amplifies the internal. Every thought, every experience, everything you're undergoing. Well, if that's the case, then why am I experiencing Trump right now? Why am I experiencing this right now? Why? Anything you can fill in the blanks for, it's only amplifying the internal. There is a split, a separation. Because Trump is us. Trump is our consciousness. We have just forgotten. There is no right or wrong. There is no evil. But we have forgotten, separated, and judged and caused our own suffering. By not seeing him as you, divine and loved, you are judging yourself. And it feels like crap. Ultimately, we begin to expand and wake up and see the judgment. And when it gets released and we let it go, not by our own limited power that created the problem in the first place, our limited perception that still thinks we're separate and judges everything, not by that, not by this construct we've created that has us sucked in. That's not how we undo the problem. Remember that saying, the same level of consciousness that created the problem, that's not the one that's going to get you out. I like to call it, you go to the PCP, primary care physician. It's your inner knowing, your inner being, source itself. You align, you invoke source to assist you in letting go of whatever needs to be let go, whatever no longer serves you in this moment. So when you have that desire, that intent to feel whatever, and you project it out in the external, take your power back. Don't create a scenario of lack that you are without. Recognize the internal manifestation is instant manifestation. That is why you are not separate from any good thing, because you choose what frequency to feel and create in the moment. Instant manifestation, we all have the power to create. Yet when we intend, we activate that frequency, guess what it does? Just like life comes to reflect on the external, what you're choosing subconsciously, well, immediately you may remember that thought that you've held on to as a kid. I don't deserve this. Every time I try to do something, it doesn't work. Those things start to resonate. Just like if I play one of these guitar strings, all of these are vibrating at different frequencies as well. They're shaking, just at different intensities, let's just say. Immediately, those blocks start to pop up. And that is a gift. As soon as you intend something, anything blocking it that's in your field gets activated. And now you have an opportunity to say, I ask for that purifying light, or I align and allow the source energy to remove those blocks, or whatever works for you. The key is finding the practices so that you can masterfully choose an intention, feel it in that moment, release any blocks that are in the way, and move on to the next moment and choose again as the desire arises. What's arising in this moment? I'm not going to take this spiritual desire, the essence of who I am, the primal nature of love itself, and confuse it with all this nonsense I've created and projected out here. No, instead I'm going to align and recognize my power is to create in a way that brings about my birthright. And my birthright is bliss. Only through aligning and accepting all that truly is the essence, the level of source energy and consciousness that I am. Only by seeing that Christ in all and recognizing that essence in all might I be free of the suffering. And through my spiritual practices, I learn how to let go. Let go of the resistance and the attachment to the ego, the conditioned, skewed perspective of who I am and what is real. As I release that resistance to what life is bringing and showing me, I begin to see the perfection in it all. See how love never left. It's weaving a beautiful, beautiful parade to assist us in remembering, awakening, recognizing, and realizing the truth that we are the love, we are the light. And as I do that, I claim my birthright. I feel the bliss. Take a breath with me. We give thanks and honor to the consciousness we are, the stories we have created, experienced heretofore. We just give thanks for the love, the energy, the grace, present now, the bliss, assisting us in waking up. We give thanks for our experiences, the richness and diversity of the same song, the same lesson of love, calling us around, reminding us of who we truly are. We give thanks for the power in both will and in the source energy that assists us in releasing any and all blocks. We invoke that spirit, that great spirit called by many names, that which we are, that knows all things, teaches all things, and assists us in realizing, remembering. We honor the truth of who we are, truth of who we've always been and always will be. And we bow to the magnificence of the Christ within us, waking us up from the bad dream. That we might revel in the glory and the perfection of what is true, what is real, what is here now. And so it is.
And this is the point in the service where the prayer practitioners come forward. And let's do a little energy here. Thank you, thank you. And together,
Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and I am grateful.
Please. If you'll come forward. And together,
We dedicate and consecrate
these gifts of love to the will, the way, and the work of God. Well, this is the time that we welcome visitors. And wow, I don't feel like there's any visitors here. I just feel like we're all one. I really have want to thank John, as always, and I think that when we hugged, when we shook hands, when we sang, when we prayed, when we listened to the message, we all came as visitors to each other, but as one with each other. So in the physical realm, if I can bring myself back, if you are a visitor for the first time, we want to say welcome. If you feel comfortable, if you could stand so that we can acknowledge you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I've already had my hugs from both of them, and so, be sure and get your hugs there. And I'd like, if I could at this moment, to recognize Kathy Stringer and the visitor. And I want, I talked to Kathy about, I think I said earlier about, well, tell me, let's make sure I say something about John. And of course, I just said something about John for whatever that was. And I said, Kathy, let me say something about Kathy. And what I know about Kathy is that Kathy is Kathy, and John is John. And they are a unique, loving, wonderful example of what they're both committed to. Not only to each other, but to the world, and bringing that to the world. And Kathy helps other songwriters, and Kathy, strong woman, okay? Individual woman, gifted person. And these two came together to share their gifts, their oneness and their togetherness. And I want to ask Kathy to come up. And if she can tell us a little bit more about the day. And so here's one strong woman to another loving, strong woman, please.
Hi, guys. So John and I wanted to make sure that we invited you if you would like to stay afterwards. He's going to be having an alignment event after your potluck, so get your bellies filled first. And he will channel a specific message for this group, a divine message, and then he will share more music. So you can ask questions about how this all came about, or musical influences, or whatever you desire, but it'll be right after the yummy potluck. So and it's just a love offering, whatever you feel led to give us. Thank you so much.
What time?
Right after the potluck, so within the next 30 minutes or so after service.
I gotta go get Tamara.
Oh, okay. Well, if you can come back, that would be beautiful. We'll be here about a good hour and a half. Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all inviting us.
And it may be a little longer than 30 minutes. So please join us, and thank you all for coming and for allowing me to help bring all of this together. And thank you, John. Thank you, Kathy. We're going to sing our song. Thank you. Get started up here. Join hands. Come together.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And if we could all say the prayer for protection.
The light of God surrounds me. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love of God. The power of God protects me. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Woo!